Due to an internet outage in our area, the Daily Article podcast has been significantly delayed today. We regret any inconvenience this might have caused you. Good day, and welcome to Denison Forum's Daily Article podcast for Friday, May the 23rd, 2025. Welcome. I'm Chris Elkins, narrating today's Daily Article, written by our co-founder and CEO, Dr. Jim Denison. Two young adults were killed outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday night. I had planned to make this tragedy the introduction to a very different daily article than the one I am now writing this morning. However, today's news gives us new information about the victims that has changed my direction and focus. Yoram Leszczynski was born in Germany and moved to Israel, where he served in the Israeli military before relocating to Washington. He worked at the Israeli embassy as a research assistant. According to a friend, he was a devout Christian. Sarah Lynn Milgram was an American from Kansas who worked in the Israeli embassy's public diplomacy department. Her father said she loved everybody that lived in the Middle East and had a lot of close Palestinian friends as well as many Israeli friends. End quote. According to Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Mr. Leszczynski planned to propose to her in Jerusalem next week. The suspect who shot and murdered them later told police, "I did it for Palestine. I did it for Gaza." End quote. 2 days after this shocking tragedy, my anger over it has only grown. What could the suspect possibly believe he changed in Gaza with his crime? Does he think Israel will change its stance on Hamas? The fact that he shot an American with many Palestinian friends and a German-born Christian shows he had no idea who he was murdering. This is the way antisemitism works, however. Hate crimes against Jews have risen in the U.S. by 344% in the last 5 years and by 893% over the last 10 years. But they have been part of the Jewish story from the time of their slavery in Egypt to today. Earlier this month, a woman named Sila Gez was driving with her husband to the hospital in Samaria to deliver her baby when they were attacked by a terrorist. Her husband was injured, she was killed. Her baby was later delivered in the hospital. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, "This vile act precisely reflects the difference between us, those who cherish and bring life, and the despicable terrorists whose very purpose is to kill us and cut life short." End quote. By contrast, according to an English translation of an Arabic post, Hamas lauded the shooting, which it called heroic. I have explained previously why so many people hate Jews. Critical theory taught on many university campuses brands Israel as a colonial oppressor of the Palestinian people. According to Gatz Ali and scholar Thomas Sowell, anti-Semitism is deeply rooted in destructive envy of Jewish culture and success. Racial prejudice has plagued them throughout their history. The Quran calls them apes and swine, referencing chapter 5, verse 60, and chapter 7, verse 166. Hamas blames them for the French Revolution, the Communist Revolution, World Wars I and II, and wars around the world today. Adolf Hitler convinced millions of Germans that they were the source of all the problems confronting their nation. But intellectual explanations are not sufficient today. The fact that a man claiming to support Gaza can murder a German-born Christian and an American with many Palestinian friends shows how nonsensical anti-Semitic hatred truly is. The same is true of the racism experienced by generations of African Americans and other minorities in the U.S. Misogyny and chauvinism endure in our supposedly advanced society. Hate crimes against Christians and churches continue to escalate. Prejudice is, by definition, an irrational attitude of hostility. It is rooted in the prideful belief that I am superior to you by virtue of your race, skin color, religion, gender, or another trait. The gunman in Washington somehow believed that he had the right to take the lives of two innocent people, that they deserved to die, and he was defending a cause that had nothing to do with them personally. Nothing will change in the Middle East, but their families will grieve their deaths for the rest of their lives. Prejudice and anti-Semitism are vile expressions of the will to power, the sinful desire to be our own God from Genesis 3, verse 5, to reject the sacredness of human life from Genesis 1, verse 27, out of pride and hatred. There is no true remedy for them except the gospel of Jesus. No human programs can change the human heart. We should do all we can to mitigate the tragic effects of sin, but we cannot solve it. I cannot make myself love you any more than you can make yourself love me. And I cannot kill the sin that dwells within me any more than Paul could, according to Romans 7, verse 20. This is why you and I need so desperately to submit our lives every day to God's Holy Spirit, according to Ephesians 5, verse 18, asking Him to cleanse us, empower us, and manifest His character in our lives from Galatians 5, verses 22 and 23. It is why we need to share the gospel with everyone we can, in every way we can, knowing that it is the only antidote to the destructiveness of sin in our lives and culture. And it is why we need to live every day ready for eternity. What happened in Washington could happen to anyone, anywhere. 68 people are murdered every day in the U.S. We only have today to be right with God and to use our influence to help those we know do the same. Billy Graham was right. Heaven is real, and hell is real, and eternity is but a breath away. Are you ready? We're grateful for our podcast listeners. If you find the Daily Article podcast helps you better understand today's news and cultural issues and then respond biblically, please rate and review the Daily Article podcast on the platform from which you subscribe. That helps people find and follow the Daily Article podcast.